The Federal Reserve System was created in 1913 by President Woodrow Wilson, my least favorite president and the one who induces within me an urge to vomit. And he did this for a purported purpose, and that purpose was to reduce the severity of economic recessions by first managing the money supply and two, serving as the lender of last resort. Now, what in the heck and bob do those things mean? Let's get into it. So first, managing the money supply. Back in the day, we had money that was pegged to a set amount of gold and thus was unmanageable. Ah, the nostalgia. But now we have fiat currency, which is only backed by our undying faith and loyalty to the United States Republic. Gee whiz. What this means is that the Fed can create money, in quotes, at will through increasing the supply of reserves. This pushes down the federal funds rate, which in turn lowers interest rates throughout the economy and makes it a whole lot easier to borrow money. So expansionary monetary policy is essentially flooding the economy with inflated dollars to disguise economic contractions. This lowers interest rates and stimulates the economy fraudulently. This makes economic recessions worse in the long run, but I will explain that in another video. Next, the bank is supposed to be the lender of last resort. But you know what would really help this explanation? A series of cartoon drawings. So we've got a bank. Let's call it, I don't know, the Bank of the Dying Empire. No reason for that. It functions like a normal bank. People put their money in it for safekeeping and for some incredible return of 0.6% annually. The bank, in turn, invests that money into something that generates a higher return than what they give the poor citizen, aka rent-seeking, aka zero-like behavior. But the catch is, the poor citizens can go get their money whenever they want. This presents a problem for our bank friends. Cash, as we know, generates a negative return due to inflation, so the banks hold as little as they are legally allowed to. They do not have enough cash on hand to pay back everyone if they all came at once. So what if more people than they can fund want to get their money back? What if everyone wants their money back? Well then, in layman's terms, the bank is screwed. This is where the Fed supposedly comes in. In times of crisis, the Fed serves as the lender of last resort. So a bank on the brink of collapse can come and get a loan of Fed reserves to pay off the angry mob of poor citizens at its door. This is what the Fed was originally created to accomplish. Already not my favorite in terms of logic or integrity. But now let's talk about how it officially becomes a Ponzi scheme. The country is in debt, like a lot of debt, and we simply cannot afford to pay for everything the government does each year with tax revenues alone, so we keep on issuing more debt. And eventually, other countries stopped buying the debt. So you know who started buying it? The Federal Reserve, by creating more reserves. Let's say that one more time. Our government spends money it doesn't have on whatever the heck stuff, then gets a loan to pay off that spending from its own central bank, which got the money to loan from the printing press. That's pretty Ponzi, but we're not done yet. Since we've been in debt for, a century, we owe interest on the debt we have not paid off yet, mainly government bonds issued to nice old people. So we use today's dollars, which are half of what they used to be worth because of inflation, to pay off yesterday's debts. And we do it year in and year out. That's by definition what a Ponzi scheme is, luring in new people to donate money to a dying cause to pay off last year's debts. Okay, you can't just print money though. The value has to come from somewhere. And where does it come from? Your wallet, because now every dollar you own is worth less than when you earned it. By definition, they are stealing your honest labor from you. So what did we learn? By the Fed printing more money, the government pays for its insane spending and reduces its existing debt burden at your expense. Just wondering, did you vote for that? Me neither, pal, me neither.